unbeaten team. Now they've done 3 straight. How far in your eyes have they fallen when you look at the whole AFC playoffs?
Kenny, who can they beat? They were 11-0, and that was fool's gold. I don't see them winning the game in the playoffs.
Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Zubin on ESPN Radio, ESPNU, Sirius XM Channel 80, and on your smart speakers. All you got to do is tell your smart speaker to play ESPN. I'm Shay Cornett. He's Jordan Cornett. We're married, and we're hosting radio, and we drove here together, and we sleep in the same bed, and it's a lot of togetherness.
We usually sleep in the same bed as long as I'm not getting out of line too much. We usually do share the same bed. I just think, like, people go, how, like, you guys argue a little bit on the radio. And I'm thinking, we're married. Imagine if you talked consistently to your partner in life for a straight 4 hours on a bunch of different topics. How many times are you going to argue in that span of time?
I know. I hate when people tweet us like, oh, this is probably made up. I'm like, why would we make up fighting?
Who tweets you that? I don't get those tweets.
I get those tweets all the time. Anyways, speaking of being upset.
I think you made that up. I don't know if that's...
I will read the tweet later on because it'll take me too long to find because I'm so popular.
Oh, my gosh.
Just kidding.
Oh.
Okay.
What a flex. Now you became the more unlikable of the duo. I didn't think that was possible.
I'm just joking. Our Dr. Pepper call line is 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. It's Sports Festivus today. Name a feat of strength you saw in sports. Air your grievances. I have so many. I can't even think of just one. Or tell us a sports miracle you would like to see happen. Again, it's 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. So I guess if we're airing grievances, I'm going to air mine here in a minute. About JuJu Smith-Schuster. He's been dancing on logos. Other teams have taken notice and have taken offense to this. And before we dive in on our thoughts, because at this point, I think we all know the situation with JuJu Smith-Schuster and the Steelers. They have now lost 3 in a row. And Mike Tomlin says he is going to talk to his wide receiver.
I am aware of it, and I do plan to talk to JuJu, but we're professionals. I doubt any of those antics and things of that nature are legitimate motivating factors as you step into professional stadiums. But it's about respect, and so we'll have a conversation. But I understand it's about the quality of play inside the white lines. And so I'm not seeking comfort or looking for excuses based on our recent performances on things that occur in pregame or things of that nature that are social media related.
It's time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. I'm going to go first on this, okay?
Go ahead.
Let me start by saying this.
Deep breath.
JuJu Smith-Schuster is what we call now in 2020 a TikTok star. He has a big following on TikTok, okay?
Gosh.
This is part of his thing. And so while I don't know that I would want one of my players dancing around the field like this, doing an organized routine where he is calling cameras over to film him before game time, and I think he should be a little bit more focused on what's ahead of him. I have been on sidelines of football games for a lot of years now, covering them. Every player, especially a receiving corps, usually is dancing pregame to the music that is being played. Usually, okay? There's loud music.
Different. You know, it's different.
Hold on, and they're dancing. So the thought of him dancing doesn't bother me. Is it a little bit too much organization and calling cameras over? Yes, but the thought of him dancing doesn't bother me. Furthermore, him dancing on a logo, why is that the problem? Why is that the grievance? Why in professional sports do we have to take our logos so freaking seriously? Like, I've been in hockey locker rooms where, like, I can't even step anywhere near the logo or it's a jinx. You can't go on a logo.
Disrespect.
You can't go on a logo on the National Football Field pregame because it's a sign of disrespect. Stop taking yourself so seriously. It's a logo. They mow the grass over it. Like, stop. It's ridiculous to me. So if you're going to be annoyed that he's dancing around center field and not focused on the game and that's disrespectful to you, fine. That's totally fine. But if you're mad that he's in the end zone or he's dancing midfield on your logo, please, you've got bigger fish to fry.
Hey, all I'm saying is if you don't want a receiver dancing all up in the videos, don't come to Pittsburgh because it's clearly allowed there. Look, Shay, you're right in the grand scheme of things. Us as athletes, me as a long-time former now athlete, it's been a while. As you can tell, this body is no accident nowadays. Love my wife's home cooking and pot roast, all that jazz. But when I played, there just becomes a buy-in to these silly things like a logo and respecting a logo. And with this whole antic of JuJu Smith-Schuster's, it was fine when you were at 11-0. It was funny. It was cool. Everything was going well. And you go 0-3, and you try and find things that you're like, I don't like that. That is a problem. I do think the teams are probably looking to get a shot on him because they don't like this, but there's a simple solution. If I were the Cincinnati Bengals, or you know what, the next team that the Steelers have is the Colts.
Yeah.
Is that on the road? It doesn't matter. Let's just say the next time that the Steelers are on the road, I would have, if I knew they're coming, if JuJu and the Steelers are coming into my arena, in my stadium, and he plants a dance.
It's at home. Colts, Steelers at home, and then Browns on the road. Cleveland.
So you know what I do? When they come into Cleveland and JuJu's still doing this whole TikTok dancing thing, I say, hey, Miles Garrett, get the rest of our defensive line, grab the rest of our offensive line, and when JuJu Smith-Schuster comes out there and Chase Claypool's got the camera to record him do a TikTok dance, be posted up in a circle on your logo at midfield and say, not today. Not today. We're not going to fight you right here. You just ain't stepping on our logo. We can exchange words here, and oh, by the way, our defense is going to get after you for another 60. You thought Von Bell hit hard? Get ready for it. You're attracting an energy from the other team. Do I think JuJu should stop doing it? No, it's what he does. Ray Lewis used to do his dances when he came out.
Yeah.
Guys have their thing, but just understand that people are going to lay into you, and when you start losing, that's going to be the focus. So get Myles Garrett and the boys out there and have them waiting for JuJu. Who do you think wins that one? That's how I would approach it. Because, yes, I do think it's disrespect.
Hey,
remember Terrell Owens back in 2000?
How could I forget
when he was playing for the 49ers?
My quarterback.
And he went and scored that touchdown piling on against a bad Dallas team late in the fourth quarter. He ran 50 yards to the logo, to the Dallas Star,
again,
and spiked the football.
Who cares?
But he did it because he knows the disrespect of the logo. That was way worse. That was way more egregious because it was a full-on sprint, 50 yards in the middle of a game, and brought attention there. But you know what George Teague did in that Dallas secondary? Went sprinting to tackle T.O. at midfield, and a melee went after that. That's the kind of thing that goes down. You got to bring a little bit more to prevent JuJu from doing it. But Von Bell, kudos to you as a Bengals fan. I loved watching it.
Yeah, I like watching it too. A little chip on your shoulder. It gives an added, juice, I guess. But I'm over.
I get it. It's probably
propping
overblown.
up.
It's
these
overblown,
logos.
no
it's
question.
So overblown. These are grown men. That's Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. So one NFL team that thought they had their franchise quarterback is instead getting a bunch of dollar bills. That's after Jordan tells you about Pennzoil.
Not all motor oils are created the same. Motor oil made from crude oil contains impurities, but Pennzoil synthetic motor oils are made from natural gas. It's base oil. It's 99.5% free from impurities. Gives you unbeatable engine protection, so the next time you get an oil change, ask for Pennzoil. Proof is in the Pennzoil. Based on Sequence 4A wear test using SAE 5W30, available at AutoZone and AutoZone.com.
From Keyshawn J.